after, we'll say after 29th. Let's see. Really? I mean, he's kind of right. I mean, our replay reviews are our replay reviews are not. Well, our replay reviews are where we go kind of nuts, like streams, because it's not. You're not gonna script in vulgarity. That would be weird, man. Just like the like, for instance, when I had the pooping in the pools metaphor. No way I would script that. That's such a. I was like, oh yeah, shitting in the pool. Jenkins, are you and Speed the same person? Do we sound or look similar? Let me go look. Speed Dota. Movement speed. Dota 2 wiki. That's not what I was trying to look at. No, we're not the same person. Unfortunately, I want that what's it called? Game League money. That's what I want. We sound similar. That's good to hear because I feel like his voice is a lot better than mine. And I'm not saying he has a good voice. I actually don't think he has a great voice. It's just mine is awful. It's so nasally. I don't know. Your voice isn't great either. We both have kind of like average voices. Mine's probably below average. Yeah, that's probably accurate. Not gonna argue with that one. I've done a lot of dumb shit lately to verify that. No, dude, that's where you're fucking wrong, dude. I got big muscles. I got big old muscles. I wonder if we're gonna screw over anybody's schedule by starting early. I guess what can you do? Life, sometimes life just happens, it's just
muted in the stream yet again. Here we are.
Oh my god, Donnie. What, dude, did you cut your hair?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I told you. I went and got a haircut right before this because it was like 90 degrees and I was like, I'm way too hot.
I'm not used to you having short hair like that though.
Yeah, it's been a while.
That looks good though. That looks good. It's a solid haircut.
I usually have them use scissors.
You got the receding hairline haircut.
Yeah.
And I say that not as thinking that I don't also have a receding. Every single dude has a receding hairline. After you're like 20, it's all downhill for your hair. Seriously. No matter who you are.
I also have very like blonde hair in my temples too, so it looks even more receding than normal.
Oh god. See, I've always had this like streak right here of white hair, like no pigmentation whatsoever, and I've had it since I was like 13. But now that I'm 25, it looks like I have gray hair in my beard, which I do.
It's like lyrical kind of. He's got that little gray streak in his beard.
Yeah. So people can't tell. It's like, oh, is this guy just really old and he just looks like a baby, or nobody thinks the pigmentation thing. Nobody thinks about that.
Yeah, are you the next Andy Milonakis?
Oh my god. Did you see the YouTube video where he tried to get picked up by like the pedo? He looked like Willy Wonka.
No.
Oh, it's so funny. It's so funny. I mean, you're obviously really fucked up, but it's like you're like a 40-year-old dude. Obviously, he's fine with messing with some guy who's trying to pedophile him real hard.
Yeah, that's super weird.
The guy's like, "Oh, I have candy. Do you want to go buy some chocolate?" This guy fucking looks like Willy Wonka, man. You should look it up. It's some quality cringe humor. You want to start, or you want to wait a little while? What do you think? Because I know you got to leave.
I think we should just go ahead and hop into it.
Okay.
We'll have the VOD on Patreon for all of our Patreons.
Speaking of which, there's so many fucking coaching sessions that I put up there.
Yeah.
So many coaching. To the point I'm almost. I feel like that could be like a second channel. I do so much coaching, but then again, I guess it's like I'm repeating a lot of the same shit in there, so it's not that value. But hey, if anybody likes coaching sessions,
yeah, there's
about 50 of them on our Patreon.
Yeah,
from this month.
They're mostly tagged with like role, MMR, hero, that kind of stuff. So pretty easy to search through all of them and find what you want.
I do have to admit though, I do say a lot of the same shit in coaching.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's Dota. There's only so many problems that people can have. Anyway, so I linked to. I'll put it in the chat. So this is from Shadow Trader, and he says, "I was playing Kunkka. I said stuff in a replay review before I became a Patreon. So let me just copy paste. I really hope you do a replay analysis on this game. My ogre was position 4 and took a DD rune from me."
So?
Okay. All right. That's very specific. I spent more money on support items than either of my supports. Damn, you really hated your team this game. This is abundantly clear to me. More importantly, I had a 3 and 17 carry who didn't itemize or was a pudge very well. All right. I wanna count the complaints.
I know.
My ogre took a DD rune. That's 1. I spent more money on support items than either of the supports. That's 2 because that counts. It's 2 supports. At a 3 and 17 carry, that's a 4th complaint, and then it didn't itemize very well versus pudge. That's 5. So you have 5 problems with what your team was doing in this game. My first piece of advice is to say fuck your team and what they're doing, because there's so many idiots in Dota. There's so many people you're gonna have to deal with that are doing just the most ridiculous, ludicrous shit, and you can't let it make your next game, make yourself have like a worse attitude for the next game. And even I know there's a lot of people that are, it doesn't affect me. I'm not saying that's you. I'm just saying there are a lot of people that say that, and it does. Nobody is exempt from the rules of humanity. If you're complaining about it, you're human. It's bothering you. It is really actually important to like laugh things off in games for your sake, not for your teammates, for your sake.
Yes.
Because then you're not going to waste energy focusing on it, and you're not gonna have negative energy in the next game. You're gonna have positive energy. Anyway, I want you to teach us what we can do in this scenario to win the game. Number 1, don't get tilted from your teammates. It's the number 1 thing.
Yes.
I know I didn't play very well, but I believe I played a fair bit better than everyone else in the game. I don't think I deserve to lose this game.
Doesn't matter. First of all, change your attitude, because if your attitude is that you don't deserve to lose the game because your team is at fault, then you're not going to get better. Because, I mean, we're going to tell you a bunch of stuff, and chances are you're going to go back into this game and you're going to be like, yeah, but my ogre took that DD. Because you've already made that distinction that this game was your team's fault.
The important distinction is that nobody's saying that your team's not a bunch of fucking morons. They are.
Yeah.
It's just that it doesn't matter.
Right.
Because there's morons in every game. You're going to play in 2 weeks, get a game just like this.
Yes.
That you want to be winnable. So, okay, we can look into it. Can you pop up the old screen share?
Yeah, pardon me. I thought there was some new feature that allowed you to like stream to people. Somebody showed that to me. I don't know. I'm gonna try just streaming Dota to you and see whether that works.
Okay.
Let me know if it's shitty.
I will.
Okay. So
That's fine.
First and foremost.
Well, are we the Kunkka? We're the Kunkka, right?
We're the Kunkka.
Okay.
I'm not totally sure why we have a Gauntlets of Strength. I feel like I never see Kunkkas starting with anything other than like Quell, Stout, 2 branches, or like a Fairy Fire. I don't know. Am I wrong?
Usually they start with Gauntlet of Strength.
They do?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Because when you have 2 bracers and level 3 Tidebringer, you kill the range creep in 1 hit.
Okay,
Also
sure.
makes you immortal.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, obviously you go bracers like every game on this hero, so It's actually fine. I just wasn't sure because I don't play any mid at all.
I'm traumatized from Kunkka because I've been. That's my 15 loss streak. About 10 of the losses are the Kunkka offlane.
Nice. Okay.
So we're just looking at this. I mean, I guess
we're just gonna kind of go through it.
General problems with the game.
Yeah, I kind of feel like you should just be trading with the sniper. He came to lane with half HP, and you've sort of just been letting him sit on the high ground. Like, just use the fact that he somehow lost half of his HP, I guess, fighting for a bounty rune. I didn't pay attention, but...
I kind of want to skip the laning, just because laning on Kunkka is so fucking easy. Like, I feel like it's... Well, you just Tidebringer the wave. You get insane amounts of... Like, it's impossible to lose lanes with this hero.
Well, I mean, that's true, but at the same time, if he's not just destroying the sniper, then there's a huge problem.
Go back to the haste. I want to see what the status is on the map with that haste turn.
Sure.
So in this draft, you're against a Spectre, Sniper, and I don't know, some Pudge offlane or whatever. Spectre Sniper is pretty solid for going late in this game. I think they probably have better late game than you do.
Yes.
They definitely do. Morphling's not all that great. They have an AA too against the Morph and the Timber. So you want to be really active. So with this haste rune that you got, I think...
Oh, it was like 2 minutes. It was at 2 minutes. The haste was at 2 minutes. Because DD's at 4 minutes.
You had the you had level 2, you had level 1 in the X. You could definitely possibly look to make a rotation with that. You want to get every rune in this lane because Sniper is not going to like shrapnel out and push the creep wave. He just sits mid and does nothing. So you want to like get every single rune and try to like make a play with it. Either you make a play back on mid or you make a play towards like another lane. But you want to be incredibly active in this game.
Yeah.
I guess if you just like 2x it, we can just watch the mini map. So there's this haste rune top, and the top lane is pushed really far up. You could definitely go make a rotation.
Yeah, it's definitely a killable lane too. You can kill the Pudge super easily with Dazzle's help. I mean, I don't know. Don't you just, once you realize this guy doesn't have shrapnel, don't you just kind of shove the wave and then just dive him under tower and force his teammates to rotate?
Sure.
Like, playing passively against a guy who doesn't have shrapnel seems pretty awful when you have wave clear. You know, just like run at him, make him play back here or something like that. Okay, we get haste and we just come back to the lane.
Like, you can actually shove out the lane. You see the haste. You can just shove out the lane, and then instead of diving sniper, you just run top with the haste. And then by the time the creep wave is, or by the time you get done with the gank, the creep wave will be in front of your tower. You won't miss a single creep.
Yep.
This is very passive. And then the next rune is a double damage bot. So you want to bring that mid to like try to kill or like pressure the sniper, or you want to like run bot with it.
Yeah. This is just kind of like one of those lanes where you should be like, you're doing fine. Obviously, you have the most CS in the game, but you should be doing way better than you're doing. And it sounds weird to say that because you're doing well, but the lane is so easy that if you're not just massacring their whole team because of how easy your lane is, then it's probably a you problem more than anything.
In Dota, there's timings. There's when you pick a draft, chances are your hero will be good at specific points in the game, and the enemy team will be good at specific points in the game.
Yeah.
The enemy team is not strong right now, and you are, and you're not pressuring them. This would be fine with you. What you're doing would be fine if you were in the position where you weren't strong, but you are strong. That's the problem here, is that you're not using your strength to do anything. And that's a big reason why Kunkka is such a good hero, is because he can be incredibly active from the mid lane. You can just decimate the lane with Tidebringer. It's incredibly easy. Pick up every single rune and you just go for ganks. And you tempo control. And as a result, like the hero falls off later on into the game with like the cleave nerfs, how it now includes armor. So like the hero does fall off when it comes to doing actual damage. But like the big reason that this hero and like Ember Spirit and Queen of Pain, these heroes are picked is because they can be active. So you're basically picking this hero and not abusing one of the big strengths of Kunkka. And if you're doing that, then you should probably just be playing something else like an OD.
Yeah. Or an alchemist or somebody who farms, since that's all you're doing anyway. Like right now, 5-minute bounty rune, you don't even move your camera to look at the other lanes. And as a strong mid who has the ability to rotate with a bottle, you should absolutely be looking to take over one of these bounty spots, empower your team, get bounty runes, refill your bottle, and instead
can we like 4x through this? I just want to see how much like movement happens.
I feel like sniper should just die as soon as you have boat as well.
Maybe a little faster. Maybe 8x. Yeah, I mean it's like been 8 minutes and you haven't made a single move anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you might as well be playing Alchemist or Medusa or something.
You're just letting the side lanes be like a dice roll. You're letting your team just like. Okay, so finally you get active. Finally you get active at 11 minutes when like the ogre walks towards the rune.
I don't even know if that's active because he just goes and picks up the rune and comes back to mid. Like we still haven't seen him actually look at any of the other lanes with his camera. He's just been on his hero the whole time.
See, this just seems really scary to me. This is like you're leaving like the largest snowballing part of the game up to like a dice roll.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that. Like whenever I got coached back in the day on one of my Dota teams, the coach who shall not be named, he went and he taught us the laning stage first. He was like, we're going to go through Dota from start to finish and master each point and before moving on to the next one. And the reason that that's a really good thing to do in Dota is because the laning stage is where you can win like 90% of games. And then after that, it's like 80% of games, then 70% of games. And the impact of what you're doing, the later and later the game goes, is less. So if you get really, really good at laning and doing stuff in the laning stage, then, I mean, the stacking and shit is cool. This is really cool, but it's insane. It's insanely passive. So you're leaving like the portion of the game where you can have the biggest impact up to like a dice roll of whether or not your teammates are winning the side lanes.
Yes.
And once again, it comes back to jobs in Dota. That's a good rotation. If you had side lanes that were winning lanes and you were the lane that's supposed to get pressured and you're doing this passive jungling shit, this would be good. But your lane isn't hard. You're not the lane that's supposed to be losing. You're the lane that's been gifted the ability to be extremely active because you're super strong. So, I mean, this is cool and all, but you're essentially playing as if the enemy team is strong when they're not.
Yes.
You want to apply your pressure when you have the strength, because later on into the game, you might not be strong anymore. Their heroes might come online. Like Sniper becomes a good hero eventually. Spectre becomes a good hero eventually, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you cease to be able to have any impact in this game, essentially, when Sniper and Spectre are online. And also to that end, I want to talk about the itemization, too, because you're going Bracer, Phase, Shadowblade. I guess your Shadowblade is your key to be active. I guess we'll see. I'm really curious whether you're actually going to be active with this or just kind of continue to do what you're doing. My guess is that you're probably going to be a lot more active now because you're like, hey, I can walk up invis and try to solo kill people. But
and you guys have lost your mid and your top tower.
There's just nothing happening. There's just really nothing happening at all. Like you're farming the jungle with a Shadowblade, and that is just inherently terrible. There's a reason that Kunkkas go Phase, Double Bracer, Radiance basically every single game in the pro scene. Sometimes an Armlet in there. It's because they want to be forcing the issue, being extremely tanky, catching people at like level 8, level 9, level 10, running at towers, making the enemy team fight them when they're still trying to farm their Midas or whatever it is. And then Kunkka just becomes this super tanky frontliner basically who can't be approached very easily and soaks a bunch of damage for his team. And you're playing as if you're I don't know. You're playing like solo ganking Kunkka, I suppose. But that doesn't really make any sense considering that you guys just don't win unless you take towers super early on anyway.
I think the bottom line is what you're doing here is not low skill in terms of. In fact, like your stack timings and your farming stacks is really cool. I actually like this. It's just it's not high skill in terms of like abusing your like mid laners rotate now. That's how the mid lane is.
Yeah.
This is how you played the mid lane like a year ago.
Yes.
This is not going to win you games right now. Like the game is too fast and this is slow. You're playing slow well, but Dota is not a slow game. So you're playing in the past. That's it. You just need to play fast. Yep. Dota's not a slow game anymore. People are incredibly fucking fast. There are teams that group 3 cores in a lane at 6 minutes.
Yeah, and I mean,
time you guys are at a tower at 20 minutes, you would get obliterated, fucking obliterated by any real team. If this was, I mean, obviously just considering the skill difference, but I'm saying like if an enemy team is the exact same MMR on each player, and they have a strat of where they're going to put heroes at what time to get towers, you're getting obliterated in this game because you are playing so incredibly slow.
Yes.
Everybody.
Yeah.
And it's especially bad when you're the person that has the strength to play fast. Morphling can't do it. You can't expect him to rotate to lanes and make the game fast. It's you. It has to be you on the Kunkka. That's what a lot of mid laners do these days too. Like I said, it's a new trend.
Yeah, that's why playing a hero like Kunkka's fun, is because you can actually dictate the pace of the game. So, take advantage of that strength and use it. And you'll probably stop blaming your team because you'll have impact in games instead of just hoping for the best, basically, which is what you did.
This emoji doesn't work here because it's from a different server. What the fuck? All right. So our next replay is Henrik. He says, I played Shadow Shaman. I hope Team Chat's not visible in the replay because I went completely insane in this game. Anything that I could have done alone to punish an Alchemist plus AM draft. We went triple Midas to counter their greedy draft. And then a baited emoji.
I don't think that I don't really enjoy the idea of trying to outgreed a greedy lineup. Just kill them. Like, run them over. Play super aggressive early.
I can tell you how to beat Alch. You fight.
Yeah.
You literally fight nonstop and you force the Alch to fight. Because if the Alch isn't farming or isn't fighting,
if he's not farming, yeah.
Then he's not farming. And if you're farming against an Alch, you will fucking lose. I don't even care about anti-mage, honestly.
Yeah.
If you farm against an Alch, you're losing.
Yeah, period. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of one of those things, like, the way that you describe this, you guys went triple Midas against an Alch anti-mage, hoping that you can somehow out-farm the 2 fastest farming heroes in the entire game.
You can just, like, do the math on it.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
It doesn't work.
All right.
Midas would need to go double the gold or some shit.
Yeah. All right, next replay. No, I'm just kidding. I guess we can look at, like, laning or something.
I mean, you asked how to deal with an Alchemist. I can tell you without even looking at this replay what you need to do against Alch.
Yes.
Because I've been doing it every game that I've been playing position 4, position 5.
Yeah.
You smoke at 5 minutes into the Alch's jungle, you place 2 wards, and you fucking hunt him. You just play in his jungle nonstop, steal his creeps.
Yeah.
And his team comes to fight, and then your team comes to fight, and then you're fighting, and it's this chaos bullshit Dota. But it's better than letting Alch farm.
Yes. Alright, try laning into the anti-mage. Beating him up.
Nice.
And
cool.
Tanking. I like that. That's pretty good. I don't know about this. I guess you're pulling through to block. I don't know if that's necessary, but
I think it seems. I think it's fine. I mean, I don't see why Enchantress is hitting it, because you're trying to pull the lane back, so like, well, you don't hit it.
Yeah. All right, pick up stick. I definitely would not trade with the anti-mage in this lane. I feel like you already did your job. You killed him. You got the lane back to a good spot to where your Enchantress should basically be able to solo this lane. So coming up and trading all of your resources with the AM is probably not that worth it. Now you're pushing the wave into him. I think that you should either pull the lane back or suicide. Probably both.
I mean, I haven't honestly seen anything that's like ultra game losing so far. This is just pretty standard like laning.
Yeah,
You
I mean,
definitely
it
don't
seems
want
fine.
10% HP against an anti-mage though. That's not ideal.
Yeah. And
Also, just standing on the spot when you're buying stuff from the shop. No bueno. No bueno.
Yeah.
I like that you keep walking over to try to contest the pull. I think that's high skill.
That's definitely good. That's definitely good.
That's not.
That's not good.
That's not good.
Pulling the lane for them. It's pretty unfortunate.
Yeah, they're the lane that's supposed to get pressured by you.
Yeah.
So this is one of those situations where your Enchantress could probably be left. I mean, she can be left solo. Period.
Yes.
But she'll be fine solo. So you probably, and then there's an Alchemist on the enemy team. You probably want to just go cuck mid a little bit right now.
Yeah, just buy a smoke, put a ward mid, and just follow this Alchemist because you're
you just slap her mid. Because Enchantress, like once she's got, I mean honestly, even at fucking level 1, this hero can be left solo.
Yeah.
Against a CM AM, like there's zero way that she. Oh, this is good. Hey, this is good. Hey, you're doing the thing that I said in the video. Yeah, the good shit.
Warding the
Enchantress
camps.
Enchant, which is bad. I don't think it's bad to not enchant. I don't think it matters that much.
I have one criticism of this. I don't really like blocking these camps, especially with observer wards, because these give gold and experience. I think that if you're gonna block camps, it should always be sentries. And I actually kind of prefer not blocking camps because it's so obvious. You just put a ward, like if you just put a ward right here, then you can see both of these camps. You don't have to use 2 wards for this area. And then anytime Alk comes here, you just walk over and you steal his creeps and punch him in the face. And then you put a second ward, maybe like, I don't know, here or something like that, which keeps an eye on this camp and this camp. Or you could walk it all the way over here.
The camp blocking thing is not, people don't do it anymore. Because it doesn't work in practice. Like,
yeah. Alk's going to find farm somewhere.
It's not enough. Yeah, it's not enough. You have to have vision of the Alk because you have to run around and fuck with him.
Yeah.
Like, you have to prevent him from farming for as long as possible.
Yes.
So yeah, I would say that's the biggest mistake that I've seen so far in this is that you place wards that are gonna get dewarded, and then also you have an Enchantress. So this hero is perfectly fine being left alone. In fact, she'd like you to fuck off so she can get solo XP.
Yeah.
And you can go punch the Alchemist. And now that he's 6, it's harder, but I mean you can still do it.
Yeah, I mean even now, like even as a level 6 Alk, you're fine as long as you're like, you know, taking half of his experience because you're in range, you're occasionally stealing creeps, you're just making him uncomfortable, maybe making other people rotate off their lanes to come assist him. That's all the stuff that you want to be happening right now. And yeah, I don't think that this whole rotation back to the bottom lane makes any sense at all. Like once you make the decision, okay, I'm leaving bottom lane to go ward, you should just make that move either all the way to the top lane to push a tower or go fuck with the Alchemist in the mid lane.
I think fuck towers, honestly. If there's an Alk in the game, you don't defend or take towers. You just run at the Alk. Like, people have honestly tried doing everything against Alk, and the only way is to just constantly fight him.
Yeah.
To the point where you just have this like massive XP lead. Yeah, this is good. This is really good, actually.
Yeah, look, he's fighting you. He's not hitting creeps. That's good news. Yeah. He's using almost all of his chemical rage to not get any farm. This is perfect.
Yeah, this is good. I think you could be smacking him at like level 2 or 3 though. Like this is something that you could have done earlier.
Yeah, just trade with him. Just trade with him because you have the edge, right?
Sitting and denying him on the mid lane is really good too. Like I noticed that you ran away from the creep wave there in an attempt to like walk back into his jungle, but you can just sit there and cuck him on the wave. Like every single deny against this hero is good.
Yep.
You're fine because it's a fucking alchemist. He doesn't do anything.
Yes.
Your ogre should be there with you too. I don't know what's going on. Where's Nake's at? Ogre's just still top. You need to call your entire team other than the Lifestealer to come to you. They're just sitting and soaking XP top. Look at this shit. What a fucking giant waste.
This ogre's not good. Yeah, the ogre should be mid, just punching the Alch in the face. Like both of you.
The Alch in the face. Everybody except for the Lifestealer.
Yeah. Completely agree.
Nice. This is good.
Uh-oh, sniper. It's close.
Here's the thing, is that you legit need to like just keep doing this and just pray. Just hope for the best. And you either win or you lose. Like you either win every fight or you just lose every fight. And that's how you play against Alch. It's so fucking stupid. I'm so sick of it actually, but this is how you do it.
Tanking the creeps to try and keep your catapult alive. It's a high level play, but it's
I think it's fine. I mean,
no, I'm saying it's a high level play, but it's not that important considering that this guy's now just free farming in the jungle.
Oh, that's the thing, is you can like drop the wards. You gotta immediately. You can't not run at this guy. You have to constantly run at him. Otherwise, you just like you give him like 2 minutes of space, and he just has a radiance, and all of a sudden the gold lead just goes up and up and up and up, and then you lose.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, really,
it's imperative that your like ogre gets active. He can't do this alone.
Yeah. You can see that they're starting to rotate to protect their alchemist, so your whole team needs to be involved in this, deterring him.
I don't like Lifestealer against alchemists because people just get a fucking Midas and then Alch out farms you. Like,
yeah, it's like actually a terrible matchup for Lifestealer.
Yes, Alch is gonna have Assault Cuirass plus Basher plus Radiance by the time you get a Radiance on Lifestealer.
Yeah.
It's fucking dumb. What is this ogre doing? Oh my god.
Dropping wards, but again,
I think they're actually doing really good shit in this game.
Yeah,
to be honest.
I think that in any other game than an Alchemist game, what you've done so far this game is quite good, other than just like staying mid or bottom too long with the Ench. But everything else has been really good.
Yeah.
But again,
if this wasn't an Alch game, this would be terrible though. That's the fucked up thing.
Yeah.
It's just totally dependent on Alchemist.
Yep.
This hero is just not Dota, man.
All right, let's go next.
Moving on. Yeah, all right. That's the first replay. You played pretty fucking well, dude. I don't know. That was pretty good. I see why you went insane. It's hard playing against an alchemist, man.
I will say, 19 deaths is a little high in any game.
Yeah, true.
So
at a certain point, the hunt the Alch thing stops working, and you just have to kind of hope that you fucked them over enough that like you can run at the enemy towers and fight them.
Then you just go split push. If in pubs, if you haven't managed to shut down the Alch to the point where your chorus can carry you, then you just split push by yourself because nobody else will do it. Especially on a hero like Shadow Shaman. Like, if you can keep the Alch coming back to his side of the map instead of killing your whole team, then you're probably doing your job.
I sent you another replay, by the way.
Yeah, I just put it in our...
So, Injective says he's Ogre Magi. This one was a win, but I didn't do that well, so I still think it's good to review. I think I did okay during the laning stage, but afterward I felt like I was just walking around aimlessly, then the game dragged on forever. I remember having to ask my drow to play a lot more aggressively, but I'm sure I could have done more on the map to encourage that, ? All right, well, it's a win, so we're going to rip you a new one. That's the deal. That's the fucking deal, boys. You know how it is. It's the rules.
Okay,
so let's see. You said the laning
we're going to cut you.
We'll see. We'll see if the laning stage went well, motherfucker. Damn, they have a really greedy draft. What on earth?
Spoiler, the laning stage didn't go as well as you think it did. I can guarantee that.
So we're looking at our boy here on Ogre. All right, number 1. No sentry as a safe
real
support.
quick. If my power goes out, I apologize. It maybe. It's looking pretty dark outside, so.
Oh shit! Oh boy.
But should be fine.
All right. No sentry as a safe lane support. If they ward your camp, you're fucked. You've lost the game. So right now, you're rolling the dice. It's good that you're playing Ogre Magi because the rest of the game's a dice roll. You're letting the laning stage be a dice roll. You've already lost the lane if the enemy team is good. And if you win, it's because you rolled the dice and you happen to press your spells and it did damage to the enemy team more than their damage did to you. It's just fucking lucky. That's all that is. You never want to leave a laning stage up to luck. You have to abuse that pull camp. Every single 5-roll support starts with the sentry ward, or they immediately send it out. And the whole immediately sending it out thing is something that happens only in like tier 1 Dota because they can figure out the courier usage for the first couple of minutes, and that's not going to happen in pubs. You have to start with the sentry.
Yeah, I mean, here you are against 2 ranged heroes, so you go for a stout shield, 3 mangoes. Sell 2 of your mangoes, buy another set of tangos, buy a sentry ward, and your starting items will look real nice. You don't need this many mangoes right now. You already have very high HP regen, you have 8 armor, and you have a stout shield, so I don't think that you need the extra little bit. And chances are, if you're using your level 1 Ignite and Fire Blast to try and trade with the AA and the Nature's Prophet, you're going to lose the trade anyway. Even if you use your skills off of cooldown, you're not going to do more damage to them than they do you.
You just suicide anyway. Like, you don't need all these mangoes and shit. You just suicide.
Yeah.
You're a 5. You're pause 5.
Pause 5.
Nice flag usage.
Yeah.
Oh, is he not going to high five you? Okay.
Are you not going to high five him is the question? Okay. That was really stressing me out.
Yeah, I mean, that would be my first critique if
What?
That fucking guy would have All right, the Jeremy. Don't go AFK in the middle of a fucking game. Holy shit.
Oh my god, that was amazing.
Not a good trade. And by not a good trade, I mean this is a great trade. You're going to kill this guy.
I think it's actually okay if you just die here and come back to lane with a sentry and more tangos.
This guy's using Sprout. He has Sprout level 1 on Nate. He went AFK at the ruin and he went Sprout first. What the fuck?
Okay, so you guys did miss half of a wave of creeps, which is not ideal.
That's literally not even worth it in terms of gold and XP.
And you're gonna wait for 30 seconds in suicide, I assume. I would probably just suicide anyway. Like, as long as you're not giving them first blood, dying as a position 5, even if it gives them credit for the kill, is probably not that big of a deal.
Kill the one guy and then just fucking run into the tower and die after that. Who cares?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, great. Come back to lane with tangos. Why do you have a quelling blade this early? And why are you buying a wraith? Okay, that's Clink's wraith band.
Oh, Donnie's a jackass.
But why do you have a quelling blade? I don't understand.
I guess the Nature's Prophet.
You have tangos. I don't get it. Nice quelling blade usage. There it is. Bully him.
That was sick. Why does this guy even have fucking Sprout anyway?
Who knows?
All right, if you want a QB, you definitely buy that from the side shop because it's purchasable there. And instead, you bring more regen into the lane.
Oh, look. No sentry.
If they were good players, they would have already blocked this, though. And that wouldn't even... The first camp wouldn't even spawn.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the lack of a sentry is a huge deal. If the enemy team was good, you just would have no pull. And then you'd get dumpstered in this lane if the enemy team was good. And then on top of that, one of the #1 rules of laning is that if you die in the lane, you bring back more regen no matter what. No matter what, you bring back.
He did.
You spend all your money on regen in efficient early game items like bracers and shit like that. You want to get tangos, you want to get mangoes, you want to get salves because you can actually use your death as something that gives you an advantage.
Yes.
If you buy regen, but if you don't, you buy Quelling Blade, which can be purchased from the side shop. Unfortunately, you can't purchase tangos from the side shop. So if you want more regen, you're just fucked. Like so, for instance, in this situation, well, now you have to go back to base. Or you have to sit at really low HP. Or passively regen up.
Yeah.
Wait.
I was just seeing what MMR it is. Because there's such a huge focus on just running at each other instead of hitting creeps. Like,
this happens all the time, man. I see this so often. To the point where I'm like, I'm not getting tired of repeating myself because I know people haven't heard it. People haven't heard me say this. They haven't seen every single fucking Dota Alchemy video or something. But it's like I feel like a broken record saying this just because I say it so much.
Yes.
But every single game in like Ancient and Below is just this fucking random bouncing of the creep wave between the towers. People running and using spells on each other. And you're just like, well, fuck, I hope the math on my shit is better than the math on your shit. And then sometimes it is and you win, and sometimes it isn't and you lose. Or sometimes you fuck up and send a double wave, and there's very little controlling of the creep wave. There's very little actual structure to it. And if you just take this game and you apply structure to it at this bracket, you will win so much because most people play without actually controlling the creeps at all. It's kind of like in the 6 to 7K bracket, what a lot of like the tier 2 and tier 1 players are doing is whenever they're sieging, whenever they're holding an area, they'll cut waves and drag them all together, and that essentially nullifies split pushing. But if you go down into like the low immortal bracket and you look at the same thing, it literally doesn't happen. It doesn't fucking happen. And it's just letting Jesus take the wheel. That's what's happening when you do shit like that in Dota. Like, there are these elements of the game that you can control, and people don't use them because they're jebaited into like fighting and shit like that.
Yeah, it's
you wanna Dota's like poker. There's a lot of randomness to it, right? But
if you apply a tiny bit of structure,
you don't all in on every round in poker. There's still a way that you can use the randomness and win. There are still good poker players. You know, that's what Dota is like. You have to just give yourself the highest possible chance of winning. And sometimes you still lose, but you want to take this chaos element out of it because this shit is just 50-50.
Yeah. I mean, I remember when online poker first came out and nobody...
And also, sorry to interrupt, but that's why you start with a sentry every game.
Yes.
Because you don't want to just hope that the enemy team is stupid enough to not ward your easy camp.
Right. Respect your opponents a little bit. It's like kind of important. Like, when online poker first came out, there was so many fish because everybody's like, oh, cool, I can just load up and throw $500 into an account and play poker online. And there were so many people who just printed money, like unheard of win rates in poker, because all they did is take the range of cards that you could have and then only play 15% of it because everybody else was playing 100% of their hands. So if you always have the best 15% of hands when you're playing hands, you're going to win a huge amount of money. And that's all you really have to do at this bracket as a support is just win the first 10 minutes of the game. And that's your job. And if you win the first 10 minutes of the game in 90% of your games, which should be very easy to do because nobody else is trying to do that, you're going to have an unbelievably high win rate. Like, this is why I can go as a 5 player to 2K or 3K or 4K and win like 80% of my games or higher because it's so easy to just win 10 minutes of Dota as a support, especially a support like Ogre. Like, all you have to do is stand there and right-click people and then pull the lane back.
All right. We're going to keep... Well, let's see. What was the questioning? Injective said... afterward, I felt like I was walking around aimlessly. Game dragged on forever. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how much more there is to say about this. Just because if we're not going to win these lanes, the game is going to be probably like 10% or less that you win this game.
look at the last hits. I swear to God, this is every ancient game. This is everybody's last hitting.
Yeah.
Like nobody's getting fucked. Nobody's really losing or winning a lane.
Except for your Clinks, because he's been hitting the other people more than he's been hitting creeps.
Well, also the creeps are right in front of the enemy tower, so it's not like he just has free farm or something.
Yeah.
Honestly, I can just say the lack of a sentry is destroying you.
Yeah.
It's 5 minutes in that you're finally going to get this D ward, and that's way too late. Your Clinks has 13 last hits at 5 minutes. Honestly, I know I was saying that nobody's doing particularly bad in this game, but what I actually mean by that is nobody's doing well.
Yeah.
Everybody has shitty last hits for 5 minutes.
Yeah. It's also
none of these last hits are particularly great.
You should have definitely gotten both of these bounties as well, by the way, because they weren't paying attention to them at all. This is yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't really have a whole lot more to add. It just kind of feels like there's very little plan to what's happening, and it's just you kind of just are like, okay, I'm a hero that has abilities, and then the game happens, and then it's over.
Let's skip to the mid game, but I definitely think that I really can't stress enough. I'm not trying to be lazy with this. It's just this is the same sort of logic that I would apply to my games. Is that this just seems like shit randomly happening?
Yeah.
And you wanna, and I know you've actually identified this in the mid game. You've identified that this is a problem, and it's just because it's a problem in this bracket in general, where you said you found that you were kind of wandering around aimlessly.
Yeah.
You need to think of what your job is in Dota. You need to just think of a job to do and just do it. And if you're wrong, who cares? It doesn't matter. You just need to think of a job, and if that was a bad idea, in the next game do something differently. But the step number one is be like, what's my job in this game? Okay, I think I can do a really good job at just running at the Spectre and shutting down the Spectre. Try that. If that doesn't work out in another game, be like, okay, I'm an Ogre. Maybe what I do is I play the dead lane. Oh, wow, this is really working out. This is good. Then you do it in the next game, and then, oh, I don't want to play the dead lane for so long, because last time I played the dead lane, I need to be with my team, and they were fighting without me, and they were dying. So, like, you'll slowly but surely build this idea of, like, exactly what you want to do in the mid game on every single hero. And that's why it's important, like, spam heroes too, is because you need to have this like iterative process of like figuring out what the best thing to do is on the hero for you and your playstyle. Like, I can't really tell you exactly. I mean, I can tell you like, you know, what I would do on Ogre or what I've seen other people do on Ogre, but I would say, like, for you in your bracket, does this Arc Warden really have no ulti? Oh no, that's just the illusion. Okay,
yeah.
Sorry. Might be. But anyway, yeah. So that's what I would like highly recommend to you. It's just like spam a hero, and if you're worried about like what to do in the mid game, you could start with like looking at what other people do in the mid game on Ogre, really try to figure it out, and then do it in your games and like slowly build your idea of what you want to do, and eventually you'll have something solid.
Yeah. I don't know if you agree with this or not, but right now it seems like you aren't totally sure what to do, but you know that this lane needs to be depushed by somebody, but nobody's doing it. And so you're kind of down here and you've sort of been depushing, but now your team is taking this fight randomly over here. And the key point here is that this is just sort of like a random event, which is sort of what we've been talking about this entire replay. I would say that it's probably better for you to stay in this bottom lane and just continue to depush the Arc Warden if nobody else is doing that job than to run to a fight, even though your job as an Ogre is to run and be at fights. But if nobody's depushing the Arc Warden lane and you're already here doing it, you might as well keep doing it and let your team be stupid and feed on their shrine. I don't know if you agree with that, but that's probably what I would do. Like, by the time you get up to this fight, it is going to be over. And this lane is going to be pushed because there's no creeps to defend it on your side. They've already been killed.
Yeah, you've committed to doing this thing where your team's fighting without you. And
right, so it's just, like, pick a job. It doesn't even have to be your job in the first place. Just pick a job and do that job well and see what happens. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's at least like the way that I've been playing Dota lately, and it feels pretty good.
Yes.
And then you have like you build this like good opinion on the game by doing that too. That's a really good way of like building this building this like foundation for like what equates to good Dota.
Yes.
Okay, so this is NF. So Crystal Maiden, I dominated, so you don't need to tell me what I did right. My team fell apart mid-game. I'm wondering if it's my fault for not capitalizing on my early carry / not initiating / converting stacking to stacking support or whatever. We won, but it got sketchy, and I don't think we should have. I love you, Donnie.
Thanks.
So this is another win. You're getting roasted. We're gonna roast you for this one.
The roast of NF. I mean, what is that? Nubile Films? Are you a Nubile Films subscriber on Pornhub?
Nubile feces, probably, because he's shit.
Yeah, sounds about right.
That's the vulgarity your dad was talking about, by the way.
It was. Sorry, Dad.
Nubiles and porn. Here we go. Okay. So you Dusa, and you're against Tinker.
Does the CM aura apply? Wait, is
to Medusa's shield?
I thought it was. Doesn't it have a mana loss reduction? What? Am I smoking something? The talent. Yeah. Does that apply to the Medusa shield?
I have no idea.
It's pretty busted if it does.
That'd be pretty cool. Although it's a 150 gold talent, you have to pass up to get it, which sucks.
That is true. But if you have like Storm and Medusa on the same team for some reason, it's probably pretty good.
Vernex1 says, sending wins in for review would just make me cringe. Yes, no wins. You're getting roasted for sending wins. All right, once again, no sentry. You're rolling the dice right now with this lane. If they block the camp, you're just fucked.
You also should just not lane in this lane. You're against an Undying Mars. You have absolutely zero reason to be here. You're
pulling.
Yeah, you're literally pulling and doing nothing else in this lane.
That's it. You just pray to the Lord Gaben that they didn't block this camp, that they were dumb enough to leave that camp unblocked.
Yeah, don't even be here. Just give your Wraith King solo experience. It's right in front of his tower. You should not be here. You should be looking to do something else.
I have a recommendation for you. So your offlane is Pudge Rubik. You could go top to start and try to get first blood, and then give your Wraith King solo XP because this lane is not laneable.
Yeah.
So you just go top, try to get first blood, and TP down at like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I'm giving you homework to do that. I'm literally giving you homework right now. This is not just like one of the random things I say during replay review. This is literally like one of the most game-changing plays you should make at the start of every single game. Start as a tri-lane somewhere and get first blood as a 5. You almost always go to the off lane. It is almost always a giant mistake to start in the safe lane because you can get first blood, you can guarantee 2 runes, and you can give your Wraith King 2 waves of solo XP. So you can get your Wraith King level 2, and then you come back before the camp spawns, deward it, and then just continue pulling.
Yeah, and the whole reason that it works is because the creeps meet as close to his tower as it's possible to meet, basically, every single game.
There's no point to being there.
Yep.
It does nothing. It does zero. Zilch. You are not necessary here.
Yep.
So fucking kill somebody somewhere else.
Yep. I completely agree. I feel like you really should do that basically every single game.
I asked IX Mike about it because I saw that he did it in a game, or I was going over one of his replays with a coaching student. I've done it with a few coaching students, and I asked him like, when do you do that? When do you not do that? And he said, I only don't do it when I'm being lazy, but I should do it every game.
Yeah, that seems fair.
This guy's ranked 60 as position 5. He's climbing with position 5. Anybody that says you can't climb as a 5, it's bullshit. It's just you're not doing enough.
Yep, I agree.
IX Mike is first blooding people and giving solo XP. Like he's doing these like insanely high value plays, and most people just sit and just do nothing. They'll just sit and
they just do this.
They
just do this. Like this camp should be pulled right now. There's no reason for it to not be pulled. You're adding.
Yeah, it's just one of those games where you don't stack. You just chain pull.
Yep.
Because they're gonna pressure you, so you want to send this double wave into them.
Yep. And then just win through experience by denying creeps, basically. If your Wraith King gets out of this lane with a level advantage and he can go to the triangle or whatever. Although you have a Medusa, so it's a little bit rough, but you just want to get him a level advantage. Get him to level 6, then he can just kind of do whatever he wants because he's a Wraith King. And you can take over the lane or you can go gank. I would probably just look to try and get out of this lane and go kill Slark as much as possible because you have essentially no purpose in the bottom lane.
I would say you just chain pull. Like, you just chain pull down here forever until you get levels. That's it.
Yeah.
But as of right now, you're just soaking XP. I just watched a video of No Tail, the gamers class video, which I shouldn't talk about that because they were supposed to sponsor us.
Yeah.
But
whatever.
I don't know what's going on with that.
Free advertising, guys.
But I was watching their video of No Tail, and he was saying that is something he considers. Like, am I soaking experience? Like, should I be like, you just want to give your core the best game possible and then let them take the wheel.
Yep.
And so people at the top level are considering this. It's not just something that Donnie and I say every week. It's like it's confirmed that a lot of good supports, really good, like literally TI winning supports, are thinking like, okay, do I need to be here to like get this guy XP? And a lot of the time the answer is no, but people have this cemented in idea that, oh, there's a 2v2 lane, so I need to be here at all times. But
yeah,
it's not actually the case.
I mean, before, like, this has just been a concept that I've been playing with since I started playing 5 a lot. So for like 8 to 10 months, and I'm not even saying that like I'm doing it that well, but I just realized that the way that I can help any player playing carry, doesn't matter whether they're better than me, worse than me, the worst player in the game, the best player in the game, if I get them a level advantage in the first 5 to 10 minutes of the game, because I'm just not there stealing their experience for half of the laning stage, they're going to play better. Because guess what? If you have a lead, it's very easy to play Dota. So get your fucking carry a lead by not being there. It's like the simplest concept, and it works incredibly well.
This is one of those things where, like, being in a higher rated bracket or having played the game for a few years actually fucks you over, because you have this like cemented idea of like having to lane, and somebody who would look at the game from a totally fresh perspective might look and think like, okay, well, this guy's supposed to be strong, so why would this weak guy come over here and steal things that's going to make him strong? Like, yeah, it's the same thing with last hits. Like, supports don't steal last hits for this very reason. Why is XP any different? Well, it's just something that for some reason it's cemented into our brains in Dota, and we need to work to make our brains, plastic and not cement.
Yeah, it's true. Plasticity of your brain is actually a very interesting concept that's talked about a lot in neuroscience. And the more malleable your brain and your thought processes are, the better you are at adapting to situations. And considering that Dota is literally all about adapting to the current situation, and that's how you win, be plastic. Be a Barbie girl or whatever.
That's like hard plastic, though. That doesn't count.
Yeah, unless you throw it in a fire because you hate your little sister and you want her to cry.
That's going deep into your psyche there, Donnie.
Yeah, as an only child with my imaginary little sister.
First the Barbie, then your sister goes in the fire after that.
Exactly.
And then you're thrown in jail.
And then I go in the fire instead of going to jail.
Jesus Christ. Alienating our audience. Okay, so
you went top. That was a good rotation. You went, killed mid, killed top, and then you came back bottom for some reason. I feel like I see this all the time. Why do this? I don't like this rotation. I think that making this rotation to the top lane, killing the mid laner, killing the top is great, but then coming back to the bottom lane is just reinforcing that your Wraith King should stay here, because he's like, oh, I have help in this lane. You want this guy to get out of this lane as soon as possible. So give him 0 incentives to be here, because he should be in the jungle already. 8 minutes in. He's got skeletons. He's laning against an unlaneable lane. Don't give him an excuse to be here.
Dude, look at Medusa's build. Holy shit. What a maniac.
It's as
He has
greedy,
no points in his shield.
as greedy as possible, man. He is against a Tinker, so it's like Tinker's not pressuring, but that is pretty nuts. But yeah, it's like instead of going up here and then TPing all the way to the bottom lane, either sit up here again, kill the person who TPs back to lane, or wrap back around to the mid lane and kill the Tinker who won't have a TP. Like, just, you've already made the decision, I'm leaving the bottom half of the map. I think it's just so incredibly inefficient to come back to the bottom half of the map unless you're defending this tower with your team. But otherwise, you're wasting all this time that took you to get up here, all the work to get up here, and then you're wasting your TP as well.
The way that I would look at this game if I'm Crystal Maiden is that I would see that there's a Tinker on the enemy team, know that like that hero is a complete cuck until he gets his boots of travel. I would just smoke into his jungle, ward, and just fucking smack him anytime he comes into the jungle and steal his stacks that he has there too.
Yeah, just eat his creeps.
I would just sit on this Tinker until they send 12 heroes to come and kill me, and then I'm laughing because I have a Medusa and a Wraith King that are farming.
Yeah.
So I think like at least in my, like I said, it depends on who you are and what your thought process is in a game, but definitely from like my experience playing CM, she's really good at just like sitting on one hero. Like if you can identify one hero that has a lot of value for you sitting on them, and then you just do it. You just do it, and you'll probably slowly get more farm because you're committing a position 5 to like fucking over a Tinker who's supposed to be accelerating.
Yep.
It's really good to do that. I mean, there might be other ways you go about playing this game. Maybe you think that the Slark, he's like a tilter, so if you can sit on him, it doesn't matter. Like as long as you've identified a job and you're doing it, that's good. But I don't think the job is to be down here anymore. This doesn't do anything.
Yeah. You're not actually making this Wraith King's game any easier by being here.
I would just slam this Tinker, man. Just make him hate me. He's farmed so many stacks here. He's actually coming back into the game.
Yeah, you could go stand here and then pull these two, and then what's your ult called? Freezing Field. Just Freezing Field his stacks. Take them. They're yours. That's
a solid play. That's a really solid play if you can pull that off.
Yep.
All right.
Next replay.
Yeah.
Next replay. All right, guys. I'm gonna be honest here. We've done a lot of replay reviews. We focus so much on the laning stage, and you guys keep sending us these replays where you're fucking up the laning stage. So we're gonna keep focusing on the laning stage until you guys start getting it right.
Well, the thing is, a lot of these guys, it's like their first or second time submitting.
Stop making excuses for them, man. They're playing like garbage. They're giving us winning replays where they're still playing like garbage.
It's just not reasonable to expect everybody to have seen all of our content, you know. But hey, go watch it all. I'm not telling you not to. You can definitely go do that, but
if you're gonna submit a winning replay and you're gonna play it like crap.
Have you seen gaming? It's like they're re-releasing games and shit because people haven't played them. There's new people on the earth that want to play the old games. All right, let me
They're re-releasing old games with no changes because people realize that they have a weird, like, what's that called, where you like edit your past to believe things are better than they were?
Nostalgia?
It's like this
nostalgic bias.
Yeah, something. Yeah, that's a good phrase for it.
Ludicrous 571 Alchemist flame me on the early mid game. Still my weakest part. Gone from Guardian to Crusader in a month. Congratulations.
Nice job, dude.
More advice and research and want more. Lost this game expecting we would steamroll with Alch, but it never came together. Okay, cool. Finally, we are the Alchemist. We're the Alchemist. Good shit.
I'm just going to hazard a guess. You decided to fight much earlier than you should have, instead of ignoring everything that was going on for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That's going to be my guess.
Yeah, I would say against the techies, you need to like wait for your BKB before you fight, like Radiance BKB. And then that's when it's go time.
Yep. Let's see. Somebody in chat, I just want to answer this question because it's a good question and something that we see a lot. What do you do if you can't beat them in the lane and you also can't pull? Leave the lane. Go kill somebody else. Force the heroes that are making your lane unlaneable somewhere else on the map.
So the bottom line, and it's like weird to say this because outside of the context of Dota, where things aren't just cemented into your brain, it's like a very trivial thing to say. But in Dota, one of the most important concepts is that if something's not going right, if it just doesn't feel good, then just change. Just do something different. Like, have your offlaner come to the safe lane and fucking support if they have to.
Yep.
You need to change something and don't give the enemy team a winning scenario, because there are so many ways that you can orient the map where it's not going to be good for the enemy team. There's too many permutations in Dota for the enemy team to be like, all right, this is how we're going to play and we're going to win. There's something you can do. So the worst thing that you can do is sit there laning because that's your quote-unquote lane. I was playing a game as I believe I was Enchantress, and I was the BSJ, and he was Lifestealer, and he was against a Batrider, and they wanted to get an Alchemist versus me, versus the Lifestealer, and they wanted to get the Batrider versus Enchantress because they didn't want the Batrider to be countered. So after a certain point of lane swapping, I literally just sat in BSJ's lane and I supported him. I was his support, and he actually made a point to be like, Jenkins, this is like really good. This is like high skill, and like he straight up said it. And the reason that he said that is because this is something that like a lot of people have watched, like OG will do. This is something that like Secret will do, and obviously it's not easy to like make that call in the game. And a lot of the time I don't fucking do it when I should. But in that particular game, they just kept rotating to get the bat versus me. So I just supported and told the support to go take my lane, and then all of a sudden we have this like laning setup where their Batriders are fucking support as well, but he's a support in the lane with the Lifestealer. So we have these two. It's the weirdest thing, but it's better than losing. Yeah. Right? It's like you're either going with a 50-50 or better, or you stay in the same lane. It's like 70-30. Why would you do that? So yeah, I was just like, I'm gonna fucking support, and it went very well. We completely destroyed the game, and then after a certain point, I was able to like come back and get some farm, but you don't want to give the enemy team you don't want to play into their hand.
Do you remember that that game at TI where Liquid, they had I think Miracle and Gyro, and I can't remember who they were playing. I think it was the match before their series with LGD. I don't remember who they would be playing in that one, but they legitimately just had Miracle AFK for 3 minutes waiting for the lanes to resolve. Like, it was actually 3 minutes into the game before anybody went to the lanes, and they just had their two supports farming in the mid farming.
You can go down the ranks and look at games where people are trying to get the correct lanes, and the lower and lower rank you go, the less time people will be comfortable with waiting to get good lanes.
Yeah.
Like if you go to the highest possible level in Dota, it gets to that point where in order to change the lanes so that they're good for you, people will literally sit AFK. I'm telling you, there are games where I'll get into like rank 1,000 games, and I'll have a Timbersaw who's against Batrider, and we'll get the lanes right, and then they'll swap the lanes, and then the Timber will just lane against the Bat and then feed. And it's like, this is why you're rank 1,000 and not rank 500, man. It's not because you're a worse player than these other players. Well, it is, but it's not because you're worse mechanically than these other players. Right. It's because these other players know that it's so important to get the right lanes that they will literally fucking support or jungle as a Timbersaw in order to not be against that Batrider. It is literally just those decisions.
Yeah.
I'm so sick and tired of all of the time that I see these games where people are doing mechanically all of the same shit as like 6-7K players. And the excuse is always mechanics. It's always mechanics. It has nothing to do with that being good at Dota. It is 100% understanding the game and decision making. That's it. 100. Like mechanics are fucking garbage. I swear to God, dude. I have like a 68% win rate with Mars, and I have like an 80% miss rate on the spear. But the reason that my win rate is high with Mars, at least my theory on it, is that I am always in the place that I know that I can pressure with just my ultimate. So even though I'm missing my shit and not killing people, I'm still pressuring them out of areas that they want to occupy, because with the ultimate, even if you miss, they're still scared of you. Because like,
sure,
you walk up, cast the ultimate, they all run away from you. And then you miss the spear and shit, and then you're just there, and they have to deal with you. So it's like, At least that's my theory. Don't like quote me on that. I
No,
can't say like why I win or lose.
That's legit. Like I am not a good micro player. I haven't played micro since Warcraft 3. And even then I was just an average to like decent, RTS player. And yet I win with Lycan all the time because I know when I need to press R and fight with my team and when I need to be split pushing. And basically I can completely screw up all of the Helm of Dominator creep stuff. I can completely screw up purging the people at the right time with my Necro units. But as long as I know when I need to be fighting and when I need to be split pushing and when I need to be not showing on the map, I can win a lot of games with that hero because that's all you have to do. It's just break the game down to very simple chunks that you can execute to like a reasonable degree.
That's what Newsham always used to say to me. When he was playing on like tier 1 teams or tier 2 teams, like world tier 2 teams, tier 1 and NA teams, he would always be like, "Hey man, you spend way too much time focusing on like the nuances of the game and like the mechanics when all you need to do is just fucking simplify it. Just keep it simple. That is all it is. It's just you just keep things simple. You don't need to like break things down into their complicated ass fucking components. It's just like, oh, my guy's good at go against this guy, I'm gonna go run at that guy on the map. It's like that's all good Dota is, honestly. It's so simple.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right, Sir Luda. So let's apply everything that we just said to this laning stage.
Okay, let's go.
Alchemist versus Bloodseeker will never be a good lane for Alchemist. Ever.
No.
Ever. This is one of the best heroes in the entire game against you because he can sit in your acid spray and just last hit better than you and deny better than you at all stages of the game. So what you need to be doing for these first couple of waves is you need to not be trying to out-deny him. You want to just be pulling one creep at a time back to you and last hitting it. And pulling one creep back to you and last hitting it. And letting the wave bounce back and forth in between the towers and then cutting this camp and stacking it and basically just not laning against the Bloodseeker. You're in the lane with the Bloodseeker, but you're not laning against the Bloodseeker. All you're doing is hitting creeps.
Yeah.
Like right here. This is like, this would be wonderful if you were like a Monkey King or something like that, but you're an Alchemist.
This I guess applying what we were just saying, it's like the low skill way of looking at this is to be like, how do I outplay this guy in this lane? How do I beat him in lane?
Yes.
And the high skill, but actually way more simple way of looking at it is just, I'm not laning. like you just don't. That's the thing is that the answer is you don't.
Yes.
Like you literally just push this out, let him get every single deny, and you just jungle.
Yeah.
Because there's no way to outplay this guy. There's no way to get more denies or last hits than him. It's the matchup.
Yep.
This is how people think about Dota now. It's just like you either if you lose a lane, you should abuse some like cheesy ass tactics to win the game. And if you're winning the lane, like the enemy team will probably identify that and then just leave if they're good.
Yes. Yeah, like even this, you just don't even tank these creeps. Just like let this guy, yeah.
Let him deny everything on you. It doesn't matter. This is supposed to happen.
Yes.
That's one of the biggest like skills that you can have in Dota is like identifying when you're supposed to lose a lane and then just losing it gracefully.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's the best way to put it, man. That is exactly.
Losing all your regen and getting killed and all this shit.
Yeah, it's like either you just accept that this is the way things are. You either accept that your girlfriend was, not that interested in you and she left you for somebody who's better looking than you or had a bigger dick or whatever, and that's just how it is. Or you can keep showing up at her house or her dorm every day and, with your guitar and your little like hipster jeans or whatever and playing her love songs, and she just takes videos of you on Snapchat and posts them to all of her friends and says, wow, look at this loser who won't leave me alone. Should I get a restraining order?
Bonnie, this is so specific. What happened to you? What happened? Is this that restraining order you always talk about?
Anyway, what I'm trying to say is just be that guy who's like, all right, More fish in the sea. There's more lanes. There's more creeps in the sea.
Be that guy that shows up to her house in a hood with a mask and call her phone nonstop and cut her brake lines and cut the phone cords.
No. We're
To it. You have to commit. You have to commit to it. Okay? Follow her on all of her social media. Get as many accounts as you can. Buy accounts from your friends. Say, I'm going to buy your legitimate account. Offer your parents for their social media accounts. They love you. They'll probably sell it cheap. Maybe even cut off your parents' faces and wear their faces so she won't know it's you that's looking in her window at night. Murder your parents.
Okay. So you just took it a little farther than I did, and that's saying something.
I could let you show me out.
That was even more specific. Well,
it was. Yeah, honestly, should be shoving this lane down and juggling the medium camp. That's very simple.
Yeah, we're gonna put it on 60.
I've definitely been on teams of people that will go over this replay and be like, "Oh, you shouldn't have this many last hits against a Bloodseeker. He got that CS on you, and none of that shit matters.
Yeah,
you just fucking slam creeps."
Yeah, and in fact, you should be spending a lot of time stacking your jungle. Like, just shove the wave out and then just go stack the jungle. Your job in this lane is not to get last hits in the jungle, is to prepare your next, 10 minutes to be good for yourself and also keep your tower alive at the same time. So literally just acid spray the wave and go walk away and stack.
Yeah, that's the thing, is it's like, this can either be a really hard lane if you're trying to do epic shit and play it normally, or it could be a really fucking easy lane, and 90% of people will take easy. I would say that in this game, there's probably a lot more double stacking that needs to happen, going to stack the medium and the hard camp.
Yeah.
Once again, like Donnie said, just preparing. It's a miracle that you got this Bloodseeker's tower. Jesus Christ, what a throw! How do you lose a tower to an Alchemist?
Shadow Shaman did some work, but yeah, for real, that's not good. And the big thing is here that so you're also kind of doubling up. You have a bottle and a soul ring. Just pick one, get one or the other, or neither, and get clarities depending on what's going on. You want this Radiance by 13 minutes at the latest.
They haven't pressured you at all. You should have a Radiance right now.
Yeah.
But you have a soul ring, you have a bottle. These items, you don't need them.
Yeah.
It's a waste of money. With your ultimate and clarities, you have enough mana regen for infinite farming. You should be stacking more for yourself and playing for your own game rather than trying to epically own this Bloodseeker in lane. You need to play to stack your jungle, and like Donnie said, just shove out the wave, and you'd have a Radiance by now.
Is this the most broken skill in the entire game?
Chemical Rage?
Why did they add movement speed and mana regeneration? And spell amp with Scepter, and bonus damage with Scepter. It was good enough with attack time and health regen. They just added a bunch of random stuff to it. I don't get it. Anyway, that's pretty straightforward as far as the Alchemist game goes. Your Radiance, let's see when you actually got your Radiance. 19 minutes. This would be a loss in basically every single professional game.
Yeah.
Even with Alchemist, it would still be a loss.
Well, I don't know. Here it's pretty broken, but you didn't get pressured. That's the thing, is you didn't get pressured, and I think the game, it's what am I trying to say here? What we're saying to you is that you put too much pressure on yourself to do shit you didn't need to do in the game.
Yeah.
When all you need to do is just be a greedy motherfucker. That's it. I see that happen a lot, where people are like, "Oh, this needs to be done," or "I don't want to just get owned by this guy," or some reasoning that makes you not just do what you're doing. Just do your job in the game and do exclusively that. And if you have to lose your fucking tower to farm faster, then you do it. I don't think you have to in that particular game, because Bloodseeker can't siege.
Right.
But sometimes you have to. And you just do your job, and if you lose the game, you lose. If you win, you win.
Yeah. Basically. Don't be afraid to lose the lane. like is the big thing.
On Alchemist, you should lose every lane.
Yes.
That hero is dog shit at laning. What about losing map control by losing tower? Sometimes
Doesn't matter.
that's what you have to do to farm.
Doesn't matter.
Sometimes Okay, Souls linked another one, so he didn't. Motherfucker, Souls. He didn't delete the. I'll delete it.
Souls,
Get
you
outta
realize
here.
that you can edit your own text in Discord?
That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I was trying to say. Motherfucking Souls, man.
There's a button that says edit. You click it, and then you can change the text. It's new technology, but it's very useful.
This guy's being rude to you, Souls. I don't approve of this. Okay. Eddie Mercury says, Jakiro, do I use spells on Legion Commander in zone?
Nope.
Not against LC. That's a hard hero. Or do I pull? Should I have zone before she gets to lane? Should I have bothered going bot to contest the runes? Does it look like I have the right idea, or am I laning all wrong? Focus on my mistakes and only my mistakes, please. Okay.
So to answer your question before we even get into the replay, no, don't you? Oh my god, LC and Abaddon. There's two hard dispels. Are they laning together? We're gonna find out. If they are, I mean, you literally just, again, it's one of those lanes. Probably even start top, kill their void or whatever, kill their alchemist, and then come back to the lane. There's just no point.
You honestly never want to start with an alchemist in this. Well, then again, you can void. That's an alchemid. Why are people playing alchemid, man? So much worse. But in any case, you almost always want to start in the off lane. Well, like I said, IX Mike said that he would literally always do it. Just try lane the enemy safe lane rune. He just doesn't do when he's lazy. Where do you submit replays? If you go to patreon.com/Dota Alchemy, there's what's it called? A perk in there for supporting your boys, and it'll put you with the correct Discord role and get you in a channel where you can submit replays in Discord. Which is kind of like a poor man's Skype for anybody that doesn't know what Discord is. It's a real piece of shit.
Zolbol, we have many brood guides. Just use the search function, and you should be able to find several brood guides on our YouTube channel.
This is what I'm saying, man. We can re-release old content and get the dollars for it, because people don't want to go back and watch something from years ago. You know,
they'd rather us
Which I
just
understand.
repost it. Be like, hey guys, Throwback Thursday. We're posting this video, this patch review from 6.85. Hope you guys enjoy it.
Patch review. Wow, Enchantress can now take creeps. That's cool.
There's now bounty runes that spawn in addition to the power runes every 2 minutes.
I like this.
Yes, good.
Wait,
what?
is it a safe lane Alk? Off lane Void?
Yes.
Mid Wind Ranger? Oh, okay.
Yes. Yes, it is. Yeah.
I would say stick around because your Alk has just free farm right in front of the tower.
Yep, here we are. And now you're pushing the wave by dual breathing. I mean, there's no, again, we've talked about it 3 times already today. There's no point in being here.
It's just a Legion. Fuck Legion. Yeah, I mean, the thing with an Alk is like, he's gonna give the enemy team a good lane regardless of what happens, which is why Timber's such a good hero against it, because like Timber doesn't get pressured at all by an Alk, and then it's good against Alk in the game. And I like this.
Stacking good. Me likey.
Yeah, just chain pull. You just chain pull with an Alk. The big mistake is not staying bot and trying to get like first blood.
Yeah, it's a little sketchy to chain pull against the LC because the bigger creep waves will allow the Legion to just pop off onto your Alk with overwhelming odds. But that's your Alk's problem if he's standing there. Yeah. Yeah, I would not even use your mana. Almost. How do you feel about this? take 1 point in Ice Path to keep your Alchemist alive if you need to, and then hold the rest of your points until you decide whether you're going to be de-pushing waves or pushing towers with Liquid Fire.
Well, you want the Q. You want the Q for level 1.
Well,
sure.
yeah, for that fight. But then I think
after that you can hold the points. It doesn't really matter. Sure.
Yeah. This should be another stack. It's not going to be a stack. That's a mistake.
Yeah, as you can see, you being up here doesn't really do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Alc just loses the lane regardless.
Yeah.
No matter what, like, this hero's just useless.
Yeah, I don't.
It's not possible to pressure anybody in front of an Alc. Although pushing the lane out before getting the bounties is good.
Sure. Yeah, this is good because the LC has to stay here, risk a bunch of damage on tower. I'm trying to think if there is a single hero that can make up for an Alchemist in lane, and I don't think there is one. Even like a Bane, even Undying. Doesn't matter. There's no laning partner that you can have with an Alchemist that will give you a winning lane. So just don't even try, basically.
Yeah, the hero's useless. This guy just shouldn't be dying, and you should be pulling the lane back. Like, the problem is the lane is right in front of his tower. That's the only issue.
Yeah.
So if the lane is in front of his tower and the easy camp is dead, you want to use that tango and pull the hard camp. That's what you want to do. Because it's very easy to pull up by tangoing the tree. I know Eddie knows the tree that I'm talking about. Yeah, just
right there.
I can't see your mouse, but I'm assuming the stream can. So yeah, right there, Donnie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right there. I think this is the only tree that you can do it with. So.
I don't know. It's the only. It's like you just tango a tree to get through the tree line. And then you're good.
Yep. All right, Alchemist is already in the jungle, so that's fine. Then you just kind of sit up here and D-push.
So I would say...
Don't you just sit in the trees and dual breath and just hang out? Not show?
So go back. I want to look at this. I believe some memeing has occurred, and you died due to memeing. So let's go back.
A meme to get you every time.
Put it to 1x. Put it to 1x. Yeah, you just chill really far away. You want to send out clarities on the courier. Damn, he's owning you.
Yeah.
That
was a good play by him.
That's pretty good play, yeah. But with that being said, like, you don't even have to be standing anywhere near him. The creeps weren't hitting the tower.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to be like up here or like way back here. And when the creeps start hitting the tower, that's when you dual breath them. And then they start attacking you and they stop hitting your tower. And then your tower kills the catapult. And then you literally just run away until the next catapult comes.
Okay, nice. You're doing it. I was going to say to do what you're doing right now. Good shit.
Yeah, pull the creeps away so the catapult dies.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Good shit.
Pop of clarity.
You need to place wards to protect your Alch's jungle right now. That's really important. You need one, like right in front of the hard camp.
Yep.
And then one in the jungle.
Like here, one of these.
Holy shit, there's a bountier in there. What the fuck? You didn't get the other bountier. Mercury? Eddie? The hell?
Edward? 1 second. I'll be right back.
You're going to need a serious amount of clarities. You need to walk over and help your Alchemist. This is good, though. Pushing the way with Macropyre. Yeah, I would say like the moment you see people running it out, you want to like commit everything to going over there and helping him. Nothing matters but the Alchemist. It's the same thing like when you're on the enemy team. Whenever there's an Alchemist, you don't like push towers, you don't do anything other than... And also, if you had warded for him and put priority on that, then he would see... Like, he would have seen the Invis Abaddon running through the Sentry, and he also would have seen Envision, like the Legion Commander running over. So basically he died there because you were prioritizing pushing the lane out over securing the Alch's farm. Even for a brief fraction of a second. This is a loss, of course, and possibly a big reason why you lost this is because the enemy team happened to punish in the like 30
minutes,
seconds
20 minutes,
where
I'll just
you
hang out
were
All right, sounds good.
where you made the mistake. And in a lot of games that won't happen, where the enemy team will fuck up. And
I'm back.
what was that? What did I just hear? I would have macro-pyred the wave there.
Yeah.
Don't feel bad about it. Just suiciding and dropping the macro-pyre, because then they maybe don't get the tower.
Yeah, your job as Jakiro when you're in a losing game is just to delay it as long as possible by killing all the creep waves as quickly as possible.
Well, also you just have an Alchemist, so if you protect this tower for 2 more minutes, you have like a 20% chance higher to win the game because it's a bullshit hero.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
Okay, so I would just say, to reiterate, the big thing is you stood up too far in the lane, didn't prioritize getting the wards down for your Alch. You need to run over and help him and put all of your eggs in the Alch basket. And then in that situation, just like suicide to defend the tower without like memeing. You know, you can go like drop the macro pyre and just run into the trees or something like that. I would also pick up like a quelling blade, because a QB would be really nice for like hiding yourself in trees right now. Or maybe some tangos. But I would actually get a QB, just because you know that your whole game, you could QB up here into the trees and then wrap around and macro pyre.
Yeah.
But this guy's zoning you, and he doesn't need to be doing that if you have a quelling blade.
Yep.
Also, quelling blade is nice for supporting in general because it lets you put really nice wards. Like, you can QB certain trees and get vision that like otherwise you couldn't.
And kill wards immediately, and it's just yeah, it's just really good.
All right, you wanna move on? We got a girthy amount of replays to get through.
All right, well, I've got time for like 1 or 2 more.
Okay. Well, we already did Injective, so we'll do Vasilios next. And then let me find one more, and then a Slick Mullet. So,
Chen. Who plays Chen?
I love this hero. This hero's broken. Hey guys, just became a Patreon 2 days ago because I really enjoy the content you make. Thank you.
Wait, no, we're doing Chen first.
Oh shit, wait, never mind. My win rate with this hero is insane lately, but this match was extremely disappointing. I scrambled to stop the Naga from farming, but I don't think I managed it quite well. How could I have done better? Bad Naga.
Ban Naga. Just looking at the items. I don't know. I guess once the Naga gets super fat, this game's hard, but it seems like you should still win it with a Void Sniper combo and Gyro. Although, what is this?
Yeah, you've really good heroes against Naga. Lion too, even.
Is this a offlane Void? I'm confused. Offlane Gyro, offlane Void, one of the two.
We did skip souls. Well, kind of. It's weird. You submitted a new one, so kind of put you to the end of the queue.
Yeah, maybe if you knew how to edit your post.
I'm sorry, that's my fault. I just go through the list of messages in the order that they're put.
Jenkins is a very linear person. He needs stuff in straight lines.
I'm actually very dumb. I'm a very not smart person.
Yeah, it just goes to show that mechanics and intelligence is not a prerequisite to being good at Dota. All you have to do is just get lucky that your teammates are good enough to carry you.
Correct. Get lucky over like a sample size of like 20,000 games.
Yeah, it's pretty small.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Yeah.
Pretty slow leaving the fountain, I would say. You have no ability to scout whether they warded up here. You always want to play this game fast. Like, you want to leave the fountain ASAP because you very literally get to like places where they can't put a deep ward.
Yeah.
Especially with the 302 movement speed hero.
Yeah, I really don't like the fact that you have an observer ward still in your inventory. It should be down before the other team gets there, or like, I don't know, given to your offlane or something. Like, either place it extremely early so you can see them trying to ward, or keep track of them in lanes, but don't show that you have a ward still and then try and place it. It's like gonna get dewarded so often.
What the fuck? What is this?
Just trading with the Wyvern. This Wyvern is destroying you. Also, why does he have Cold Embrace level 1? Stack! Stack! Why do you have...
So what did Vasilios, what was the question? Stopping the Naga from farming. Okay. So it's not your job right now to do that.
Yeah. You've got a little dude following you around, hitting people.
Can you pause for a second?
Sure.
Check the medium camp.
Which medium camp?
The one that's close.
This one?
Yeah. Play it for like a second. Okay. I was just gonna say, if there's an Alpha Wolf there, I believe you can get it at level 1.
And that just gives you more damage to trade.
Gives you more damage. Yeah, like the order of creeps is like you want a Harpy, or an Alpha Wolf, or one of the ghosts. Those are like the best creeps.
Yeah, dude.
Which is why stacking is really important on Chen as well.
The Scotty Ghost is so good.
It's very good. The best thing is the Harpy in the early levels, though.
Yeah, Chain Lightning.
You just win the lane if you get a Harpy.
You kind of just win the lane if you have Chen because of the regen and harassing.
I am shocked that they let you get that rune because you
quite
were there
late.
already.
Quite late to get the rune.
Yeah. You should almost always look. Well, always look to be at the rune as it's spawning. You never want to like bank on just getting lucky that the enemy team made the same mistake that you did. That's not
right.
That's not a good. Bounties matter a lot too. It's something that can't be like undervalued. Every single pro game, people go for bounties. They'll ditch everything to pick up bounty runes. So I would say there's not enough pulling happening in this lane.
Yeah.
You're like pressing spells on them, but your gyro's not farming, and the Tide is farming very well.
Yeah, I mean, I think, again, it's just another one of these scenarios where you're just trying to outplay a lane that doesn't need to be outplayed. You just have to prioritize other stuff more, and you're going to probably have a better game. Like, what are the chances that you can outplay a Tide Hunter plus sustain hero, even with a Gyrocopter who has good magic damage against them? It still doesn't do that much. And is it really a big deal if the Tide ends up with less farm? No, he just presses R. That's his entire job this game, is press R. Wyvern presses R. Gyrocopter, on the other hand, has to significantly carry the game, so this guy needs to get ahead, and he's not ahead at the moment.
It's another one of those situations, too, where he would prefer to just get, like, solo XP while you're pulling.
Yeah.
And then use your, like, creep zone.
Yep.
While you're pulling.
Agreed.
And this is good because the lane is shut down.
Hmm?
It's, like, towards your tower.
Yeah, that was fine. I also really do like the idea of rotating over and and killing this Invoker a bunch, because their heroes are not very good at counter. Like, I guess Wyvern's pretty good, but you have a sniper, you just rotate in with some dust, you probably kill the Invoker like every time, especially if you can find a troll or some form of catch.
Sure, you can try. At a point, you definitely want to start pushing towers with Chen, too. Like, I think...
It kind of sucks that you have a Lion Void offlane, because that is not...
Yeah, I was going to say, if you have some, like, strong offlaner right now, then you go to his lane. But you can push this, probably the sniper's lane.
Yeah, go mid, take the mid tower. Take the mid tower with sniper. I think that's probably the best move, actually, because if you take the mid tower with sniper, then chances are other people are going to rotate, and then you then rotate to the lane that they left. Because right now, you don't really want to fight into the Naga Crystal Maiden with a Void Lion, and you don't really want to fight the Tide, who's level 6, with a Wyvern backing him up with just a Gyrocopter. So it's kind of what we've been talking about basically this entire hour and a half of replay review, is that if something's not working out really well, go do something else that does work out really well instead of just sitting in a mediocre situation.
Yeah, usually people on Chen will rotate between like 5 to 10 minutes and just sit their asses in another lane.
Yeah.
Doing what you're doing in the safe lane, except probably like your bot lane or mid lane or something like that. Or sit in the enemy jungle, go between mid and bot, but you don't want to keep playing top. Like, ideally, your gyro will be supported enough that you can like leave him there, and if he's not, you would send somebody who's strong up there to deep push the tower, but you never want to play to that area. So I think this play is okay. I mean, it's good, but this could happen like much earlier.
Yeah. Also, if you are going to leave top lane, you should definitely try to leave a ward up there, because your gyro feels extremely scared right now to be up here.
Oh, yeah. He's going to get domed. He's going to get real domed.
As far as slowing down the Naga for the rest of this game, I mean, I'm going to assume that there's 3 smokes in stock. There probably should be maybe 4 smokes total, because you should buy one earlier as Chen, for sure. And then go ward the jungle.
You want to go like every Chrono and Gyro ulti and kill the Naga.
Yeah.
And then run to the tower with your creeps.
Yeah, and the best way to be able to do that is to have vision up, because there's 0 wards in their jungle right now. And they have 2 extremely good jungling heroes in Tide and Naga. So you want to keep track of where their heroes are, and they're extremely
What happened after that kill bot? I'm wondering. Like, no tower died, no wards were placed.
Everybody left, and Chen just sat there and farmed. Everybody else went and got health or farmed jungle camps.
Okay. That's when you would ward, and that's when you would push in the lane and set up to push the tower.
Yeah.
That's one of the like the more important concepts that I always cover when doing coaching, is that you can get a kill, but nothing matters if you're not taking something after getting the kill. Like, you have to take a tower, you have to put wards up, you have to move on the map to somewhere that you couldn't go before. You have to get something that the kill enabled you to get. Otherwise, it's just a kill for gold, which is fucking worthless in Dota.
Yep. And okay, so here's what happened. So they killed Naga. They pushed up the wave. They dove the CM. CM ulted. A bunch of people rotated in. Naga came back.
I would ward there. I would use this time to go ward.
Yeah, so that's what I wanted to touch on. Is like, if your team, I mean, once you get the kill there, you should be taking the tower. But they committed a lot of resources to stop you from taking the tower. Also, your team kind of did something stupid and dove the CM and just sat in her crystal or freezing field for 10 seconds. But if your team is doing something dumb after you've done something good, it's your job to offset that dumb thing so that you still have like a good thing happen. And so one of the best things that you can do as a 5 is shove in the lane and disappear off the map. And when you're disappearing off the map, you use that time to go place deep wards, because they don't really know where you are. If you're here, the fight happens, it's chaotic, you disappear, and after those chaotic situations, it's very hard for them to track where you go. So use those moments after a chaotic moment to go place deep vision.
You're off the map right now. You may as well be
exactly
while doing something important like placing vision.
Exactly.
Especially when all those motherfuckers TP'd to the bot lane, so you know nobody's in their jungle to scout you doing this.
Yeah.
And now it's too late. And now you don't have a ward to play to.
Yep. So now you just have to kind of passively play here and wait for your cooldowns to give you another opportunity to get deep vision, basically.
Gyro should not be top. That is absolutely his mistake. He's playing an active hero versus a Naga who's a non-active hero and is not being active. That's
oh, God.
A mistake.
Now your whole team is TPing to the lane you don't want to be playing in.
Yeah. Against a lineup like this, against like a late game lineup, especially a Naga, you don't want to defend towers. You don't give a fuck about towers. They don't matter. You want to take towers. You want to restrict where she's farming.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you
want to get closer to their base so you can win a fight and take high ground before it's too late.
I think one of the biggest things that I notice is that people, I really like the fact that people are picking these aggressive heroes. You know, they're picking gyros, they're picking Chens, they're picking the heroes that can run at you and pressure the map. But because of the, I don't want to say it's like the MMR bracket that they're in, but it's an MMR bracket problem, is that they're too afraid when they play these heroes. They take a passive or defensive mindset and they try to apply it to an aggressive hero. If you want to play aggressively, and I highly recommend that you play aggressively because almost everybody plays too passively in basically all pubs, just push your limits. Feed diving in their tier 3s. Like, be OG. See how aggressive, how insane you could be, how much chaos you can create. And then you can dial it back a little bit. Don't start playing like you're an alchemist when you're supposed to be running at them, you know? Like, lose 400 MMR just feeding too much.
It's what I was saying before with just like spamming hero and developing an idea on like how to play the game. You just do it, pick a job, do it to the fullest extent that you can, and then just adjust between games. And then eventually you'll be doing this really annoying thing the best possible, and you're just good at a hero.
Yeah.
And it's your specific play style that you've built. So that's a really nice thing to have in Dota, where you have this like very very good like niche, you know, that you're playing.
Yeah, I mean, anyway. Look at somebody like Attacker. You know, Attacker was like top 25 in Europe playing exclusively Kunkka. Like, basically can't play any other hero even remotely close to that good. And that's fine, because his niche is that he can play this one hero to a level that nobody has ever been able to play the hero to before. All right.
Man, don't mention it, dude. Like 15 games in a row with that fucking hero last night. I'm so done with Kunkka.
Kunkka.
So fucking done with Kunkka.
All right.
I don't know if here's on off laner, if I'm just shit at it. Anyway, all right. So we have Slick Mullet says, "Hey guys, just became a Patreon 2 days ago because we enjoy the content you make. Thank you. I just wanted to submit my most recent match. I found out today that it's replay review day today. Support is really the role that I enjoy and want to improve at the most. I've been playing, trying to learn carry so I can better understand what carry players need from me as a support. It's a fucking amazing attitude, my dude. Even though playing carry gives me a tremendous amount of anxiety, I can understand that. A lot of pressure on you. One of my biggest problems is I get tunnel vision when I focus too much on farming. And I play much worse because almost the whole time I'm worried about letting my team down. Hey, man, I'm with you there. My anxiety actually gets worse when I play games where I have a high KD because I feel like my teammates are seeing my KD as a measure of skill and place too much confidence on my ability to win the late game. Oh, my God.
Sounds like you need to hire a sports psychologist to help you deal with the pressure, friend.
Oh, don't play carry, man. I don't play carry for the same fucking reason, man.
That's so funny. I love it.
I find myself doing completely random shit during team fights because my clicking and target prioritization is so bad. I knew I wanted to go on supports first, but found myself fighting the Axe and Chaos Knight a lot because they would initiate onto me. So wait, who are we in this game?
We're Naga Siren.
I see, okay.
And he ended the game 16-3-19 in a losing game as Naga. So
pretty good.
Yeah.
He's pretty good.
Yeah.
I gotta say that the best thing that you can do as a carry to deal with the pressure of your team, like putting a lot of pressure on you, is to, number one, just not give a single fuck. Like, you actually just can't care. You need to say, like, fuck my team. If they get mad at me or if they put pressure on me, you just need to go objectively into the game and do what you need to do. Do what is possible for you to do. Because it sounds like what's happening.
We're playing mid.
Your team is allowing you to... Your team is kind of baiting you into, like, putting more expectations on yourself than what is reasonable for you to accomplish. Like, I think what you need to do is you need to identify what you think your job is in the game and what you can do in the game in, like, the mid game. And then just do that. And if that doesn't win you the game, you just take the loss and you don't think about it. You just say, I played as good as I could. The draft wasn't good or my team wasn't good. And that's fine. That's how I deal with pressure. Is that like, okay, I'm gonna do this game. I did it. It didn't work out. Not on me. Not my fault. You know.
Yeah. All right. I just skipped to the mid game because he's mid Naga against a Weaver seems kind of irrelevant to the outcome of the game. Okay, so let's dive into that a little bit. What is your job as Naga Siren in this game as a mid Naga Siren?
It is to sit in the enemy safe lane and cut the mid wave, cut the bot wave, and just delay the game. That's what your job is. You just want to shove out a lane that's not the mid lane. You want to play far away from the enemy team, so you have to play in one of the side lanes because the mid lane is just so easy to get to from anywhere. You want to like draw them around the map with your illusions. Your hero is insanely good at just getting out because of the song, and very hard to kill because she just has all the illusions pushing forward. So you want to like shove the enemy safe lane.
Yep.
That's what you want to do.
Yeah, there's no towers dead at 20 minutes, and that's definitely an issue. It's restricting your farm. Holy lord. These items are unfortunate on the Wraith King. And the Io's going carry wisp, even though it's... Of course he is.
Great.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel like what you're saying is correct, but at the same time, if nobody's making a space, how do you play this game?
You shove the side lanes. You have to shove the side lanes. Make space for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jungling triangle is not an option when they have a 5k gold lead and all of your towers and are at your base. This is not an option. You should be giving the space to somebody who's worthless and can't get out on the map. You can get out on the map.
Right.
See, this is the problem of playing in the mid lane, is that it's just so close to where the enemy team can get to that you're vulnerable. The thing with going bot is that if they come to you and kill you, number one, they probably won't be able to, or they won't want to, because it's so fucking far away from them. And if they do, they don't get anything from it, and you've drawn them across the map. If you're just chilling in the mid lane, then they kill you, and then they get the tower. And now next time they kill you, they're in your base.
Yeah, also...
And CK is literally raxing you, actually.
Yeah, and you need to make sure that you're using your camera to look at what's going on, because you're farming the jungle right now, and there's heroes hitting your tier 3. And we're not looking at it at all. I don't know if you're like tilted or fighting with your team.
This is another reason why pushing the bot lane would be so important, is that you're forcing somebody down there that you can come top and fight these guys and kill them. Like, you want to draw... It's like how people, to secure Roche, people will push far away from the Roche pit. So people have to go there, and then you TP to the Roche pit and then take Roche. It's the same thing. Right. So instead of going from the triangle and doing this, you'd rather have been playing bot and pushing that tower and then do this. So there's nothing that's progressing the game forward right now.
Yeah. That's
all I can say. Honestly, I don't even want to like muddy this down with any more useless nonsense information. You just need to play the side lanes. That's it. That's all I want to say to this. You need to play the side lanes, because I feel like anything else that I say is just gonna bury what's important. Nothing else, in my opinion, is important in this game. You're not playing the side lanes, and that's a problem.
Yeah, and I know that you're a support player who is trying to learn carry just for the perspective. But that basically, it's not just a Naga thing. It's just that Naga does it better than most other heroes in the game. But that is an every carry thing. Your job as a carry is to make space for your team. Yeah.
Like, you can do it on like Shadow Shamans and Jakiros and stuff like that too.
Sure, but I'm saying that like the best carries in the world right now will create space for their team, even though they're completely useless for like 20 minutes or 25 minutes, because they are so aggressively pressuring the side lanes that the other team has to respond to them and has to stop fighting the carry's team. And that allows the carry's team to have a bunch of space to find their farm or make a play. And so it really is your job to set up your team basically as a carry, because you're forcing your team to play 4-on-5, because that's how, hard farming carries play. You need to force the other team to play 3-on-4. Like, that's basically your job. You want to try and draw 1 to 2 heroes away from every engagement, so that the 4 heroes in your team that are playing and allowing you to play carry.
That's why it's good to do on anything.
Yeah.
Because generally, when it's 4v3, you're just going to win Dota.
Yeah.
when you're forcing that situation. So if you can do it, a lot of the time you just should, carry or no carry. It's just a good strategy to have in your toolbox of strategies where it's like, all right, this shit ain't working. We can't 5-on-5 fight them. Let's just push a side, not the mid lane, because the mid lane doesn't do shit. One of the side lanes. You push a side lane and then TP and fight in the other side lane. TP to the other side of the map, and then take a 4v5 or 5v4. You just win Dota. It's so easy.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. I mean, and what Jenkins means by push the side lane, why it's so important is because just the travel time of these creeps from here to here is like half the time that it takes these creeps to get from here to the river, or these creeps to get from here to like pressuring the side of the map. So it's basically all just about the fact that your creeps and heroes move much faster down the mid lane than any of the other lanes on the map.
You kill one single creep wave mid, and the next creep wave is going to be right in front of the opposing tower.
Yeah.
You have to kill like 3 creep waves on the other side of the map, or on one of the side lanes to do that, because there's so much distance. It's all about the distance in Dota.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to call it there. I got to go.
All right.
But thank you guys for the replays this week. Start of the month, so we've got a lot more to go, but keep submitting them and keep on getting better at Dota.
Dota Alchemy. If you want your replays reviewed.
Yeah, it's good.
Additional love and support.
Lots of people are gaining lots of MMR by submitting replays every single week. So
I've had a few people say that they've gained like 700 or 1,000 or whatever, and I've been specifically asking lately, what is it that you learned? Because I know that there's a whole lot of like bullshit out there in our videos and replay reviews and coaching too. It's all about listening to what somebody has to say and taking the golden nuggets.
Yep.
And using that. And what I'm interested in is like what the golden nuggets are. Because I don't know what I've said that isn't bullshit. It all sounds like bullshit to me. So I'm like, all right, boys, what's the non-bullshit? Give me that stuff. Give me the nugget shit, not the bullshit. The golden nugget shit.
I think that might be corn. But anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.